consider this. About 2 million more citizens live in poverty since President Obama took office. Poverty among women has increased by 1 million. Among blacks, the poverty rate is up nearly 1.5% since President Obama was first elected. Median income for all working Americans has dropped an average of $2,000 since 2009. That's an economic disaster, yet few Americans really know the stats. How about illegal immigration, Mr. Trump's big issue? According to the Center for Immigration Studies, about 2.5 million undocumented immigrants have entered the USA during President Obama's tenure. That includes more than 150,000 unaccompanied minors, kids. The Pew Research Center estimates more than 300,000 babies are born each year to at least one parent who is an undocumented immigrant. Those babies, of course, immediately become American citizens. The cold truth is President Obama has not improved the illegal immigration chaos in this country and has actually made it easier for alien criminals to hurt Americans by supporting the sanctuary city concept and failing to support Kate's Law, which would harshly punish alien aggravated felons who defy deportation. Why aren't the Democrats supporting that? Overseas, there's a war raging in Syria and Iraq that was ignited when President Obama ordered all U.S. troops to leave Iraq. ISIS then moved in, creating violence and horror. Shortly after the president ordered the Americans out, Vice President Biden said this.
I am very optimistic about Iraq. I think it's going to be one of the great achievements of this administration. You're going to see 90,000 American troops come marching home by the end of the summer. You're going to see a stable government in Iraq that is actually moving toward a representative government.
Of course, Mr. Biden's assessment turned out to be dead wrong, the optimum word being dead. Situation in that region is much worse now than it was when President Obama took office. The reason, beside the foolish pullout, Mr. Obama underestimated the ISIS threat. January 2014, the New Yorker magazine published this quote by the president. The analogy we use around here sometimes, and I think it's accurate, is if a JV team puts on Lakers uniforms, that doesn't make them Kobe Bryant. So far, the ISIS savages have executed thousands of civilians, raped thousands of women, generally terrorized at least a half dozen nations in the Middle East and North Africa. All of that on President Obama's watch. As far as Iran is concerned, most Americans are opposed to the nuke deal the Obama administration wants approved. According to a Fox News poll released this month, 58% of Americans reject the Iranian nuke deal. Just 31% approve, 10% don't know. In September, Congress will vote on the nuke deal, but it doesn't really matter. President Obama will get it done no matter what. On social issues, the Democratic Party has veered sharply left. When Planned Parenthood was exposed for selling the body parts of aborted babies, few Democrats condemned the action. Hard to believe, but some people echo this Canadian pro-choice person.
It should be the woman's decision to make that choice no matter what, period. Now, if that means taking action up to a month before the child is born, that should be her decision.
How about a week?
A week? That's her decision again.
How about a day?
Also her decision.
Hard to believe. Now, Hillary Clinton will not criticize Planned Parenthood and is using the issue to reignite the war on women fiction by portraying anyone opposed to Planned Parenthood as anti-woman.
We expect that from some of the terrorist groups. We expect that from people who don't want to live in the modern world. But it's a little hard to take coming from Republicans who want to be the president of the United States.
Well, there's a uniter, isn't it? Comparing Republicans to terrorist groups. There's a real uniter. That's the woman you want sitting in the Oval Office to bring our country back together. That's a disgrace, and she's a disgrace.
Now, Governor Christie's criticism of Hillary Clinton didn't get a lot of exposure. If Donald Trump had said it, it would have. So you can see that the Trump phenomenon has obscured the Democratic performance on the economy, on immigration, on foreign policy, on social issues. The undeniable truth is the Democratic Party is now embracing ultra-left positions, ultra-left, and has failed to deal with vexing problems effectively. JFK and Harry Truman would be ashamed. Just the record itself should be enough to get a Republican elected president in 2016. Certainly enough last November when the Democrats lost the Senate. But again, Donald Trump's transcendence has obscured the entire record. Right now, the political debate is all about sizzle rather than steak. That's not Donald Trump's fault, by the way. He's campaigning in a very effective way for him. Few political experts thought Trump would be dominating the political discourse like he is. Guys like Trump and Ben Carson are gaining traction because many Americans no longer trust traditional politicians who are afraid to speak honestly and bluntly. The folks know there's danger for the country if the economy, ISIS, Iran, horrendous actions by Planned Parenthood, and other troubling problems are not dealt with effectively. President Obama and the Democratic Party have severely weakened this nation. Every single fact points to that. We're approaching $20 trillion in debt. Entitlement spending's out of control. Taxes are rising. Working Americans losing ground. Finally, if you still don't believe me, consider this. In a recent Quinnipiac poll, American voters were asked, are you satisfied or dissatisfied with the way things are going in the nation today? An astounding, and I mean that, astounding 71% are dissatisfied or very dissatisfied. 26% say things are okay. Only 2% of Americans are very satisfied with where the country is today. 2%. Talking Points rests its case.